Hello, everyone, and welcome into Coach Craig Sports. This is the MLB DFS Core Pick video for today, Wednesday, July 24th. If you're joining me for the very first time, first of all, welcome in. Second of all, this is how today's video will be structured. We will be going over my core picks, which is going to be one pitcher, four hitters. It's going to be based on a combination of past performance versus their respective opponent, as well as some recent history. And then after that, we'll be going over to my cheat sheet and talking about my top GPP teams to stack for tonight's slate overall. But without further ado, we'll get started with those core picks. We'll start off at the pitcher position for today with Matthew Waldron of the San Diego Padres, $8,800, averaging about 30 fantasy points on the season, goes against the Washington Nationals tonight. Looks like a pretty favorable matchup. He has two starts versus them in his career. This year in 2024, he had a 40-point performance, and then last season he had a 14-point performance versus that Washington team. So not a long list of history there to be had at that, but definitely do like his upside. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of inconsistency start to start with kind of that knuckleball pitcher that he is. But he's got 5 wins on the season. ERA is at 3.59, but definitely do like his upside at $8,800. Then we're going to move down to second base with Kiki Hernandez. You can also play him at third base, first base, and outfield. So a very versatile piece. He's only $2,200. Expected to be in that starting lineup for the Los Angeles Dodgers once again. Goes against Robbie Ray, making his season debut tonight. And in his career versus Robbie Ray, he is 12 for 48 with 5 home runs. So some pretty good history there at that. And if we look at what Kiki Hernandez has done on the season so far, average is below 200. He's got the 6 home runs, 17 RBIs, averaging about 5 fantasy points per game, but he is a part-time player. I'm not going to go down my whole conversation of part-time player that I do typically go down, but their fantasy points per game are always going to be a little bit lower. And if we look at what he's done as of late, he has at least 1 hit in 3 out of his last 4 starts. He has 1 multi-hit game during that time span, 1 home run, 2 double-digit performances, and 3 of those games have had at least 9 fantasy points or higher. So definitely do like the upside of him at $2,200, a very good cheap value play on tonight's slate overall. Then we're going to move down to shortstop with Bobby Witt Jr. He's at $4,700 now, averaging just under 14.5 fantasy points per game. Going against the Arizona Diamondbacks tonight, it is going to be Ryan Nelson as the expected starting pitcher. He is 1 for 3 versus Ryan Nelson in his young career. He is on a modest 6-game hitting streak as we do speak. 4 multi-hit games during that time span. All 4 of those games have been 3-hit games as well. 2 home runs during that time span, 5 double-digit performances. So Bobby Witt Jr., one of the hottest hitters in all of baseball as of late, and definitely do like his upside once again tonight, going against Ryan Nelson and that Arizona Diamondbacks team. Then we're going to move down to Aaron Judge at $4,800. So we do have the double pay up today. We're paying down a little bit at that pitcher position. We're paying down for Kiki Hernandez. So we're able to make this fit. It's going to be a little bit tighter for some of the other spots, but definitely do want these 2 guys in my lineup tonight. $4,800, averaging just over 15.5 fantasy points per game on the season. Goes against the New York Mets and Sean Manaea on the mound for them tonight. He is at .309 batting average on the season, 35 home runs, 89 RBIs. Once again, averaging about 15.5 fantasy points per game at $4,800. 6 for 13 with 2 home runs for Sean Manaea in his career. And Aaron Judge has at least 1 hit in 3 out of his last 5 games. 3 multi-hit games during that time span, only 1 home run, but does have 3 double-digit performances. And 4 of those games have had at least 9 fantasy points or higher. So it's a pretty safe floor with Aaron Judge overall. Coming off a weird game where he did go 0 for 1 with 4 walks. So still got the double digits there. Didn't get hit in that game, but definitely do like that upside, that floor that we do have with Aaron Judge just in general. And then last but not least, we're going to go with Ryan O'Hearn at $2,800, averaging just over 9 fantasy points per game on the season. Goes against the Miami Marlins. Edward Cabrera is the expected starting pitcher tonight. Edward Cabrera has really been struggling as of late. Ryan O'Hearn does not have history versus him in the past, but definitely do like him as kind of a cheaper bat tonight at $2,800, batting in the middle of the Baltimore Orioles lineup. You can play him at first base, you can play him at outfield, so a versatile piece at that. $279 batting average on the season, 12 home runs, 39 RBIs. Once again, averaging just over 9 fantasy points per game at $2,800. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do currently have listed, you have $11,700 remaining, just over $2,900 remaining per player. So a decent amount of money left over. Going to have to find some value options on tonight's slate, paying up at those 2 premium spots with Bobby Witt Jr. and Aaron Judge. But it's going to definitely be doable on tonight's slate. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to my cheat sheet and talk about my top GPP teams to stack for tonight's slate overall. So the 4 teams that I do have in terms of the top stacks for tonight, going to be the Texas Rangers going against Chris Flexen of the Chicago White Sox. A lot of these hitters have hit him pretty well in the past, whether it is Nate Lowe, Adolis Garcia, Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, you name it. Pretty much anybody on this Rangers team is going to be in play tonight. Got the Baltimore Orioles going against Edward Cabrera. Cabrera has really struggled as of late. He's a guy that does have command issues from time to time. He's been giving up a lot of runs at that. These Orioles hitters have not faced him in the past, but definitely do like the upsides that's there. Then we have the New York Yankees going against Sean Manaea. About half the lineup has pretty decent history versus him in the past, and that's mainly going to be led by Aaron Judge. So Aaron Judge, DJ LeMahieu, anybody that you kind of want to play from this Yankees team, especially guys that typically do hit left-handed pitchers pretty well, is going to be in play once again tonight. And then last but not least, we do have the Toronto Blue Jays going against Zach Eflin. They have some pretty hit-or-miss history versus him in the past, but guys like George Springer and guys like Alejandro Kirk, Danny Jansen, there's a lot of different guys on this team overall that have some decent history, although it is a little bit limited history at that. So feel free to kind of mix and match those stacks as you do see fit. But with that being said, that's what I do have in terms of the core picks and the top GPP teams to stack for tonight's slate overall. And as always, if you have any questions related to MLB DFS, be sure to drop them down in the comments and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. I will also be listing any weather updates, any starter and pitcher changes, and the starting lineups as they do come out throughout the afternoon and early evening. But with that being said, if you are brand new to my channel, checking out for the very first time, or have yet to subscribe, please consider doing so. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Right now we have MLB DFS in terms of the core pick videos Monday through Friday. Also have my CFL DFS video coming out once a week, typically on Wednesdays. And then last but not least, if you're interested in sports betting, if you're interested in prop betting whatsoever, be sure to check out the links and promo codes down in the description below for Prize Picks, Parlay Play, and BetUS. If you are a brand new user on any one of those three sites, when you sign up, make your initial deposit, you will get a first match deposit bonus. For Prize Picks and Parlay Play, it's 100% match up to $100, and then for BetUS, it's 125% match up to $2,500, and that's going to be an aggregate over your first three deposits. So some pretty great opportunities we had out there. If you have any other additional questions related to that whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me, whether it's down in the comments or on Twitter at Coach Craig Sport. I'd be more than happy to help you with that journey as well. But with that being said, that's all that I truly have for today's video. Definitely do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. Definitely means a lot to me. I hope that each and every one of you have a great rest of your day and some pretty good luck in MLB DFS tonight.